Welcome into A Toast of Film. I'm one of your hosts, Ebo, and on today's episode, we got a pretty jam-packed episode because I will not only be reviewing My Old Ass in theaters now, the 4:30 movie in theaters now, Kill was in theaters on VOD now, but I went to an early showing of Transformers 1 yesterday. So I'll be giving you my review of Transformers 1 as well as the definitive Transformers ranking. So we'll see, where does Transformers 1 line up? Is it towards the bottom? Is it towards the top? Is it in the mid? Stay tuned and find out. But we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff centered around nostalgia. So, something that gets me some nostalgia is pineapple Dole Whip. And I have the Spanish Marie pineapple Dole Whip sour pineapple ice cream. It is what we're toasting with this week. And let me tell y'all, this thing, it packs a punch with that sour. But I will tell you this, it is very drinkable. It is very good. I'm really enjoying this. This I wouldn't mind having a little 4-pack of while we still got a little bit of hot, before we start to cool things down October. But very good. Check it out. Spanish Marie pineapple Dole Whip. But let's go ahead and get into the review. So first up, this was something I saw for the AMC Screen Unseen, the mystery movie that they do, once or twice a month. Was $5. I believe it's $6 now. But it's My Old Ass. And this is from director-writer Megan Park. And we got Maisie Stella playing Elliot. And so Elliot, she's about to go away to college. So she's having one last, week with her friends. It's her birthday. And they do mushrooms. And during mushrooms, the other two, they're, going crazy. And she is able to talk to, as she eventually calls her, my old ass, which is her 20 years from now, played by Aubrey Plaza. And then even more interesting throughout the movie is it seems, that older Elliot is able to contact her on the phone. So this movie, it never super defines the rules, which I appreciate because then it's able to play around a lot with it, including maybe a scene where both Elliots are in the same spot involving other people. But this movie, another great person, Percy Hines White, who played Chad, I really liked him. He's very odd, but very endearing, which I really appreciate. Just seems like a genuine good guy. And this movie early on didn't hook me that much, but as it went along, I started to get more and more invested. I started to get more and more attached to these characters, and especially, the plight of Elliot as she's trying to navigate things, while she's young and feels like nothing can hurt her, and whether it be physical or emotional. And I think My Old Ass, I think it's a great like mother-daughter movie to go see. And I just think it's a good movie you should check out because the performances are good. I like the story. There's some good comedy in it. And, there's some nice little teary-eyed moments. So check it out. My Old Ass. I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5 cheers. I enjoyed it. Next up, this was one of the previews I saw during My Old Ass. And it came out this past Thursday, and that is the 4:30 movie. From director Kevin Smith, we have Austin Segur as Brian David, and him and his buddies, Reed Northrup as Belly, Nicholas Cirillo as Bernie. They are going to the movies because Brian David has asked out Sienna Adugong, who plays Melanie Barganet, and this is like his dream girl. This is all he could ever want, is to ask her out and go see a movie with her, and she's agreed. So it's all about them going to the movies and all this kind of stuff. And let me see, I'm trying to think how I want to describe it because I don't want to, spoil the whole plot of the movie, but basically it becomes a mission where these three knuckleheads get kicked out of the theater. And so then it's all about getting back into the theater because they want to watch this movie so that, their boy can check out the movie with Melanie. And I thought that was pretty good. This one was another one I was not in on early. Uh, I mean, just, talking straight, the acting, not the best. The plot, we've seen before. It's cute, but it really was the acting that was holding me back. These younger actors and actresses, not the best. Some of them decent, but kind of cheesy. Some side characters pretty cheesy. Um, but it has this thing. If you're like me and you just love movies and love going to the theater, then there's going to be a point in this movie where I think it's going to take over you and you're going to be in because, I mean, all I want to do is go to the movies. There's nothing I love more than checking out the movie theaters. And so being able to sit there and watch these kids and, this set in the 80s and their plight to all this, and it starts to win you over. And there's a lot of cameos. Most of the side characters I didn't, care about. We'll say, however, Sam Richardson, somebody who I love, he's Werewolves Within. He's been in a lot of stuff. He plays Major Murder, who's almost like this Sergeant Slaughter type wrestler. And he has a really good scene with the Bernie character where he is in doing his like I'm Major Murder shtick, and then he like cuts it out and does like his real person. And I thought that scene was really good because I'm also a big wrestling fan, if you can't tell from the hat. And I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I really appreciate Kevin Smith. And this movie, it just proves, I don't think it's one of his stronger films, but like I said, if you're a movie theater person, at some point, this movie is going to win you over, whether you want it to or not. And you're going to walk away and you're going to be like, you know what? That was a good little time. So I'm going to give the 430 movie like a high 3.2 or maybe 3.3. I definitely don't think a lot of people are going to love it, but I think if you love feeling of movie theaters, I think you're going to like this movie and have a good time. So next up, we have Kill. This is from director Nikhil Nagashbhat, and this centers around Lakshya as Amrita Rathod, and he is this dude, just honorable guy, good guy, bad mama jamma. So this guy, ex-military, he's now like the most respected police officer, and his beloved, she is being sent in an arranged marriage to be engaged to another man. And she's going by train to meet this guy. And so our boy, Amrita joins on the train. And then Raghav Juyal playing Fani, he is kind of the leader of this group of like, criminals who are also on the train so they can rob everybody. And it's this whole big criminal empire. And then they end up facing him. And let me tell you, this movie, there's some cheesy moments, there's some slow moments, but when action happens, you're going to be entertained because this action, oh my God, like there's something they do with a lighter to kill somebody that I've never seen before that was incredible. Just, I mean, he just walks up to somebody, snaps their neck at one point, double stabbing dudes in the chest with knives. Really, just if you like action, you're gonna have a really good time with Kill. I think it's a fun movie. I think you should check it out. And I would give Kill like it's tough because it is very slow at points with the story. And I was going into it thinking it's gonna be the Raid type action. And it has some great moments, but I would give Kill also in that, 3.3 3.4 range, just because the action more than makes up for the movie. But I don't know how y'all are gonna feel about the rest of the movie. I will say one cool thing. So when we get the title cards for movies, It varies how quick we get the title cards. Some are at the very beginning, some we get like a brief opening scene. The opening scene is 45 minutes. We watched this movie for 45 minutes and then boom, kill pops up on the screen. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I think it's definitely worth a watch. So make sure to check it out. Kill. But guys, we're in the main event time. Hold on, let me take a swig for this. So this is Transformers 1. This is from director Josh Cooley, who brought us Toy Story 4 and star-studded cast. We'll get into that in a sec. So every time I saw this trailer, I groaned because I was like, it's not Optimus Prime and Megatron. It's, the animation looks bad. It's just silly, like over top silly. I was not about it. But it's an early showing, so I wanted to check it out. This movie is a lot of fun. You're gonna have a really good time. So we got Chris Hemsworth as Orion Pax, which is Optimus Prime before he was Optimus Prime. We got Brian Tyree Henry as D16, who's Megatron. We got Scarlett Johansson as Alita 1, Keegan Michael Key as B127, Bumblebee. John Hamm as Sentinel Prime. Lawrence Fishburne plays our narrator in Alpha Trion. And this movie, basically, like Orion Pax, D16, all of them, they are transformerless bots. They can't transform. They don't have the specific gear that allows them to transform into a vehicle. And this movie, it's very quick paced. I thought the script was surprisingly good. There's some decent comedy in it. There's some good action in it. And I was just having a good time enjoying it. I went into it with some negative thoughts because, like I said, the trailer I thought was terrible. However, once you actually get into this movie, I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it's one you should check out. Is the animation good? No, the animation's not good. But I think the movie more than makes up for that with all the action and the story and everything. And I think you're going to have a really good time if you check it out. Transformers 1, very recommendable. I'd give it like a 3.8 out of 5 cheers. I think it's a very good time that you need to check out. But we're at the end of the episode, and how we end all episodes is with a list. And this week's list, we have my definitive ranking of the Transformers films. So let's just get into it. I'm going to start out at number 9. We have Transformers The Last Knight. This is one of the Marky Mark Transformers. The plot is just stupid. Like Marky Mark with a sword. Who needs that? Nobody. Just boring. Not worth your time. Number 2 is Transformers Revenge of Fallen. This is the second Shia LaBeouf. Movie's just bad. It's long. It's incredibly long. This has those two bots, very notoriously bad bots that everyone hates. This one. Number 3, Age of Extinction. This is the dinosaur Transformers movie. I like that we get the dinosaurs, the Dinobots, but the movie itself is trash. It's just not worth your time. Next up, we got Rise of Beast. This has like the gorilla, cheetah, and all that bots. It's silly. It's not the best. The whole story with the little brother, who cares? It's just okay. So here are our top 5. Number 5, we got Dark of the Moon. This is the third Shia LaBeouf and the first with Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, where she is there instead of Megan Fox. And this movie's not great, but there's a lot of action in this movie. So I think it at least had to make the top 5 because the other 4 that weren't in the top 5, this one to me had better action to it. They take over Chicago, some cool stuff. Number 4, Transformers the movie, because you got the touch. This one I never watched as a kid because it was before my time. And, we all know about what happens with it with Optimus. But I love the animation style, so I had to at least get it into the top 5 because of that alone. Number 3, Transformers 1. That's the new one I'm talking about. Zero or ONE 1. I think this movie very good, and like I said, you should check it out. Number 2, I have the first Transformers with Shia LaBeouf. Say what you will about the movie, but I thought the Autobots looked cool. I thought the plot was decent. I thought the action was good. I still like it to this day. I'm still going to defend it. But number 1 has to be, for me, Bumblebee. Yes, the plot is basically the Iron Giant. That's true. But the opening 10, 15 minutes where we're on Cybertron looks so good. And then we get to Earth and we get this really good story, and we get Bumblebee, who is just always, a crowd pleaser. And Haley Steinfeld's great. And I just think it's a good time. Bumblebee would definitely be my number 1. But guys, we've reached the end of the episode. So like I said, make sure to check out this Spanish Marie, the pineapple Dole Whip. It's pretty good. Very drinkable. Has a nice little sour twang to it. And make sure to check out the movies. My Old Ass, the 4:30 movie, Kill, Transformers 1. 3 of those are in theaters now. Go to your theater. Go support your local theater if you have one. But if you want to let us know what you think of any of these movies, or you want to tell me something to check out, there's always things, I haven't heard of that I love to hear about, check out. Make sure next week we'll have some good stuff, because I know we're going to be reviewing Never Let Go, the new Halle Berry movie. We're going to be reviewing The Substance, Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. Very excited about that, especially because who the director is. Check out Revenge if you want to see what kind of movie you might be getting in for. But we'll also have Mr. Snail's Pick of the Week, which is Triangle, available on Tubi. Watch it. Follow along with us. But there's so many ways you can let us know all these wonderful things. But let me tell you the best ways. Check us out on Instagram or TikTok, A Toast of Film, all one word. Or check us out on YouTube. Just search A Toast of Film. Or check me out on Twitter at film_toast. And from Trey and myself, we just wish you a good night and good viewing.